Welcome back. Here we are going to discuss the next topic. Now, see, before going to the next topic, one topic we left in page number 95. Okay, page number 95, one topic we have left. This one is one note was there. You can see note. Here it is discussed about XML processor. It comes sometimes. What is XML processor? You see in your book. Every time when you see or watch the videos, you just go through your books in the same time, okay, because the videos are not up to that mark, that video quality may be very less, that you could not see very nicely. So always you open your book and you see wherever I mark, and just in this way you just also mark in your books and try to read this all the topics. Okay, here you see one topic we left in the previous class, that one note is there in page number 95. Note is that about XML processor. Now what is processor here? It is not about our computer processor here, that processing, who does the processing, these things, this is the XML processor. But remember, before going to discuss this XML processor, let's talk an example like that. So simply when take an example about our school system, that in your school, whenever any notice comes from the principal office, the fourth grade employee, they do what? Simply they go with their notice, but they don't try to read that notice. What is this? What are the things that it is written in this? They don't mind it. Okay, they don't mind it. They never try to read and they never try to interpret all these things. Simply they need to do what? To go to the different classes and different teachers to announce. The teacher will understand and teacher will read these things. So if we take example that all the teachers are in applications, these are the softwares. Okay, these applications are taking information from that fourth grade. Okay, the fourth grade is the processor. The processor will never try to understand what is the things it is coming from the XML file to the software. So software, if you see, all the teachers are the softwares, and the fourth grade employee who has brought the notice to us, he is the XML processor. So XML processor, if he is the XML processor, he never tries to read these things, never tries to understand these things. Simply he has to do what? To go to the different classes or to the different teachers will do everything. So in the similar way, in XMLs also there is a processor. The processor never try to understand what the contents are transferring from the XML file to the different application who has requested for. Okay, so if this is an XML file, this is an XML, and from that XML different softwares, different application are using the same file. This is the all the applications, these are the app. From the different applications, these softwares or these XML files are being used. So there is a XML processor here, the processor is there. Okay, processor. This processor, what he will do? Simply to transfer the contents to the different applications who has requested for, without going through, without understanding the content what he is transferring. So this is the XML processor. If the definition comes, what is XML processor? The definition it is given to you here. The XML processor simply required to pass the information to the different applications. Okay, here the first line also you have to write what? XML processor need not understand processing instructions, how to process, what to do. This is not upon the processor. He has to just simply transfer to the different applications. Okay, so this, if the question comes, this is your definitions, you have to learn these things. But this what is XML processor. In extra questions that I have already provided, these questions perhaps it is included there, you can see. Okay, now it is up to the, this is the extra line, you can also read this. It is up to the application to understand these instructions. Remember, the application will understand, not the processor. So this topic it was left, so you see this one. So next you come, we have stopped up to this much, public and system keyword while accessing the external XML. Okay, sorry, external DTD. So XML DTD, if we share with within our system, Okay, then we have to use system keyword. If it is from other system, then it is public keyword. Remember this one. Definition it is given also here. You just remember, learn these two definitions. So here another topic is this XML application architecture. Means when we develop a software using XML, actually how it works. Okay, so it is the user interface. You see, user interface. What is interface? Through which we can interact. Say simple example, if you take, so when we try to listen a song in computer system or in mobile phones also, the interface what is provided means through which we can access these things. We can use, we will have what, play, pause, next, to select the files, to make playlist. So this is the interface through which we can control, we can do everything. So this is the user interface. Now this is the software applications, XML parsers. Here parser is there. What is parser? We will discuss here, next topic. Now this is the data store where all the data is already stored. Okay, so take example of Flipkart. Okay, when you visit to the Flipkart application, the view whatever you get, this one is your user interface. Now whenever you search something in your Flipkart, from where these informations are coming? From the data store it is coming. Okay, through the application. This is through the software. This is the software XML applications through which it is transferred to us. Now the data store, where the data is stored or data are stored, who will store? Okay, who will store? So all the shopkeepers, they will store their information about their products. So they will have another interface or not? That interface, it is not mentioned in the diagram, but they will have another interface through which they can upload the things. They can give the information about their products, specification about their products. So they will have the another interface. So there will be two interface for general users and another interface it is for the that means the provider who is providing the things to us. Okay, so there are two interface, one front end interface, another we can say this is the back end interface. Front end it is for the users and back end for the providers. Okay, servers we can say, who is serving the data to us. So this is the architecture. This diagram you also remember, this is one other topic. It is also a very important topic, an important topic. So you just learn these things. What is XML applications? So this is a new topic in your syllabus. Syllabus means this topic, it was not there in the previous book. Okay, so it is included in this book, that means your new book. Now what is XML parser then? We have got XML processor. Okay, as we have got the processor doesn't go through the topics, doesn't go through the contents, doesn't try to understand what the information are exchanging, simply transfers the data to the different applications. But XML parser is the things who will check everything whatever is exchanging. He will check the validity of your data. Everything means whenever you travel through a train or bus or maybe anywhere, there is a conductor is there who will check our tickets. Okay, who will check your validity. If you have purchased a ticket for Guwahati, but say you have purchased a ticket to Nagaon, but you are trying to travel to Guwahati. So after Nagaon, if he comes and if he checks that your validity is over, your ticket it is for Nagaon, but you are trying to go to Guwahati, so you will be caught. Okay, you will be caught. So parser is that, like that. He will check everything whenever you try to these things. That means the contents whatever are changing, everything it will be checked properly. This is the parser. Okay, the definition of parser, it is very important. It comes maximum times in your exam. Parser is what? You see, a parser the reads an XML file, identifies all the tags and names everything and pass to different applications. So this is the definition of XML parser. Now how these XML parsers are made? What are the different programmings are used? So this is another question, how a parser is made. Here you see the different programming language. It is given Java, C++, Perl, Python. So there are different programming languages as we have. Okay, using this programmings, these parsers actually it is made. Okay, like we have got C language, C compiler. So there also parser is there who will check everything. Okay, compiler like that. Here you see another thing. There are two types of documents of XML we have got, as I already told that there are two types of XML document. Okay, what are the two different types of XML document? You see, one XML document, it is the valid XML document. Okay, valid XML document. Another one is what? Well defined XML document. Well defined XML document means means it has all the tagging rules that we have got, how XML will be correct. Okay, this is the well formed XML. And valid XML, so already we have got validating XML or valid XML document, means it will have DTD, okay, and DTD will match with this one. That one we have discussed in the previous class. So this paragraph you see, okay, what is parser and what are the two types of XML here it is defined. Okay, two types of XML document, and how XML parser is made, what are the different programming languages it can be used. So these are the different. There are two types of parser, you see. There are two types of parser. In the next topic you can see, yes, this one. Validating parser and non-validating parser. These definitions are very easy to remember. By the name itself it is saying the definition. Validating and non-validating. Validating means what? Valid XML. Valid XML means it will have DTD. Simple. So validating and non-validating. Non-validating, there will be no DTD. Simple. So by the name itself it is saying the definition. Okay. So first of all, the definition, you see, non-validating parser. It will first, as we know, an XML must be in well formed. Whether it is invalid or not, it is the different thing. But it must have the well formed condition. Okay, tagging rules must be followed. So here in non-validating parser, what happens? There is no DTD concept is there. It will check, this non-validating parser will check this your XML, it is in well formed or not. Simple. It will check it is in your well formed or not. Simply it will check. Okay, but it doesn't check your validity. So this type of XML software means we are using in browsers or not. Everything we are viewing through the browsers. So you can see nowadays maximum browsers are what? Non-validating type. Like we will do the practical. If you do, then if you don't mention your DTD, you will never show any errors in this one. If it is in well formed, this is okay. Okay, as our browsers are in non-validating type parser. Okay, so now some of examples of non-validating type parser you can see. All the examples you must learn. Okay, all the examples, because sometime question comes, so choose the correct it comes. So out, if it is given, find the non-validating parser. 3 given validating parser and only 1 it is given non-validating parser. So you have to find out which one is a non-validating parser. So remember all the examples of non-validating type. So the definition is very simple. The non-validating parser, it only checks the well-formed condition but doesn't go through or doesn't check the DTD. It doesn't have the DTD. It doesn't check even whether you have written correctly or wrong. It will never check the DTD. Only well-formed condition it will check. If you have done any mistake in well-formed condition that we have, well-formed, what are the well-formed conditions that we have got? Like tagging rules, all the tagging rules, starting tag must have the closing tag, all root and child must be nested, empty text must be closed, attributes must be in double quoted. So like that, or case sensitive, like starting tag must match with the closing tag. If you have made any mistake, okay, if you have made any mistake with this, then the error will appear. Otherwise, no. If you have done any mistake in DTD, then there will be no error, because it is the non-validating type parser. It will check and convert. The next one is validating type. So if it is validating, you must have the well-formed. Without well-formed, XML will not happen. Okay, it is not any document, so it will must have the well-formed. So this non-validating, what it will check? It will check the well-formed condition as well as the validity of the XML. Both the definition you see, well-formed condition as well as the validating means it will check the DTD. Whether it has the DTD or not, DTD is matching with the XML or not, everything it will check. So maximum browsers are non-validating, okay, remember maximum browsers are non-validating type. Here also some examples are there of non-validating parser. Both the examples of both the topics, you learn all the examples. Okay, for this sometime direct question comes, what is XML4C? If it comes, then what is XML4C? What will you write? You have to write what? It is an It is a validating type of validating parser. Okay, it is a valid type of validating parser. What is XML4? It is a type of validating parser. What is X? Okay, LARC or XP, or here it is comes XPAT in XParse. You can see in here. So what is this? Non-validating type parsers. So remember this, all the different types of parser. There are two types of parser: validating and non-validating type parsers. Now the previous, your new book that we are following, the topic, it was completed here. Earlier book it was completed till this. Okay, but here from this topic we have to discuss about only the DTT. Till the topic we have discussed about well formed and the XML how to write, but from this part we have to focus on the DTT part only. Okay, how to write DTT. As we have got the DTT, what is DTT? It is the design, it is the architecture, it is the format we have to follow while we write the XML. So before writing the XML, we should see, we should have we should get the design, how it will be created, how we have to create our original XML file. So before that we have to create our DTT. This DTT definition already we have got, as we have got, there are two types of DTT, internal and external. So here from this topic we have to discuss the different DTT. Okay, the question comes, declaring elements. Directly question comes, the content type specification can be one of the four types. We have contents. Remember what is content? An element, if it is started, say car, BMW and car close. Okay, this BMW is the content. Now what type of content it will be, this will be decided. And content may be what? Simple text, or maybe another tag also. Say car, inside car another element is there, like what? Color. So color also it will come as a content. What are the different types of content we may have with this one? This one also we have discussed. Content may be what? Text, or maybe another element. That one we have discussed in the previous class perhaps. So here you see this question, if it comes, what are the content type specification? These are four: empty, any, mixed and children elements. So now first you comes, what is empty? If it is mentioned in the DTT as an element as empty, that there will be no content. The definition you see here, the example 5.14, you can see element salary, it is said that empty. You can see empty. The structure you see, as we know, DTT always starts with doc type and one square brackets. So here before square brackets root element is mentioned, it is employee. Under employee, what are the other elements? Like employee number, employee name and salary. And you have to follow the serial order of this one. The first which one will come? Employee number. Next what will come? Name, employee name. Then it will come salary. You can see in your XML part, employee is the root, employee number, employee name and salary. It is coming one by one, in order. And as we employee number, employee name, salary, all will have here element, because these are also one kind of element, and it will have some content. That's why it is written PC data. That means parse character data. There will be some content, or may not be there. We can write or may not be. But whenever it is mentioned empty, then you must make it empty. If you have written any content with this, there will be error. Here you see, here it is mentioned as empty, so there is no content in the salary in your XML. Okay, XML. If someone has written any content, you can see here it is given 17,000 in this XML. So there is an error, it is showing here. You can see this line, error is showing, it is as it is mentioned as empty. Okay, you go through your book, because these letters are very small and it will not come very clearly in your video. So you go through your book whenever you watch this video. Here it is, see the 17,000 value, it is given in your XML, but it is coming in error. To see your error, you have to click the validate button. One validate button will be displayed. If you click, then it will display validity, what the validity is violating here. It will show. This is the content. Okay, the empty. Now next you see another one is, in the next previous page it was what? Any. What is any? Now see, any is what? In this example, if you see, only one root, means everywhere we will have one root. That means only one family, root and their children. Sometimes we will have grandfather. Okay, here it's father and the children. If grandfather comes, so under grandfathers how many children will come, that one if it comes, then we can use any number of elements it can be used. Here you can see the definition keyword indicates that any number of any other elements can be bound with this one. There is no limit. Here in the previous example again you see it is bound that it has only three elements: employee number, employee name and salary fixed. But in this case you see it has any course details and it is written as any. You can see in this line course details and it is mentioned as any. So any number of elements, but under course details another information, another element is there. What? Information. You can see in your XML course details and information has two children, course name and fees. So under information, course name and fees it is given. So if you have another element, you can very simply add to the last. At last you can add here. Okay, if course detail you have say hostel facilities, it is given about your information, course name and fees, and next another element you can also add with this one, say hostel, about hostel fees, hostel other activities like that. If it is, you can add, so it can be expanded very easily. So if you want to expand your XML with without any ambiguity, then you can use what? Any keyword. You can see it is written as any. The definition it is given. Okay, here another one is to us what? Previously if you go mixed, what is then mixed? Now mixed means what? An element may contain, an element, remember contain and content, two word, contain and content, don't be confused. Contained and content, sorry, contain and content. Content means value, contents mean it will include. So here mixed means what? Both. An element may contain content, that means PC data, or it will may contain another element. Okay, so here example it is given. Now see, teacher is the root. Under teacher, first it is written PC data, then one pipe, this is called pipe. Remember, one line like that, it is called pipe. Then it is written code. So teacher may contain another tag or another element, or it may contain directly content. It can contain directly content. How? So teacher like it may be, say teacher is an element, teacher, and teacher, say what is teacher? Say my name I am writing, say computer science teacher. Okay, teacher, what teacher? Computer science, and teacher close, teacher it is close. So it is also, it is correct according to this one. But if you see, a teacher may have another element, what? This is also correct according to this declaration, or it may contain what? It is given in your example here. You see teacher and another element, it is given as code. You can see code. So teacher code number is T101. Whether a teacher, it may it can contain content, or it may contain what? And another element. The content, it is written as PC data. It may be text, it may be other things. So both, any one, it can be either this or that. But in between it is given one pipe. Pipe means any one of them. Okay, and at last you can see one star symbol is given, so it is mandatory, it must be given. Star means this is mixed, either this or that. Okay, it may be teacher can contain a code like that, or it may have another element like another text like this. And the two rules, you can see, to write the rules while you are when you use mixed content. What is the rule? First it should come PC data. You can see first PC data it is there. Okay, you can see in your example, first it is given PC data, and next it comes the element name. So PC data, it should come always the element name in the first mixed content declaration. Then next there should be followed by a star. There should be a star. It is given mixed content, always included a declaration with star mark, it should be here. Okay, So these are the two rules you must see here. Star marks must be given. This is the mixed content. And the last declaration, it is the children elements. What is children elements? According to this one, the next topic you can see, we have got what the order of the elements. Order of the elements, if we can use comma, comma, comma. And another just we have got what? Pipe. One is comma and another one is what? Pipe. When we use comma, that means all the elements should come in order, one after another. Here in example you can see, in this example figure 5.19, here we have used what? Comma. That means book is the root element, under book ISBN, title, author, price, all are separated by comma. So you can see all are coming in your XML. This is the part of XML. Here it is coming serially, ISBN, then title, then author. Under author again first name, last name. So here also first name, last name. Very serially it is coming because it is used as comma. But if you have used pipe, like previously we have used, anyone we can omit some word or we can write any order, you can see. The next example 5.20, it is given as pipe. Here you see sports is the root element, under sports choice 1, choice 2, choice 3. There are 3 other elements, it is also written. So here it is given only choice 2, choice 1 and choice 2. Choice 3 is omitted. No problem. You can write choice 2 even first and choice 1 again after choice 1, after choice 2. So if you have written choice 2, again you are writing choice 1, no problem. Any order you can write. Okay, the next example also, another example, it is given 2, 3 it is given, so you can omit anything. So here it is given, you can see 5 elements appear one or more times in any order. One or more times it may come in any order, but comma it should come in a order. There are the difference, and this question is also, it is in your exercise, very important question. What are the significance of these two symbols, pipe and comma? How can we identify? So pipe, comma means all the elements should come in order. Pipe means it may come in any order. Okay, so up to this much we have discussed. Next class we will start from this topic. Okay, bye.